Hello, this is Lawrence Little, better known as the Expat Stylist. While I'm taking time to clean my detachable blades at the end of a day of cutting hair, I wanted to pause and shoot this quick video here because many believe that the only way to cut hair, and especially to fade, is by using an adjustable clipper, whether it's a Wall, an Andis Master Series, and or a Babyliss, something of that nature. And they really skip over the value of a detachable clipper when it comes down to the same types of services. I wanted to shoot this video here because after looking at different barbers that focus on using a detachable clipper, and even listening to a recent video I saw on Ivan Zoot, that is the Clipper Guy's channel, as to the benefits of using a detachable clipper, I wanted to show you why I invested in these blades and what the blades are. First of all, this particular chart here can be found on Ivan Zoot's website. Again, that's the Clipper Guide, his handy guide to the different type of clipper guards and blade comparisons. So he does a comparison between a detachable blade and, again, using an adjustable clipper and the various guards that go with it. A very great guide in stepping into the world of detachable clipper use, especially when it comes down to fades. What you see here on the red are the usual blades that you would use as far as, again, fading is concerned, anywhere from whether it's a number 2 to a 5-0. The other ones, again, are for higher grades of hair, but they do show the benefit and they match up to whether you're using, for instance, 000 with a quarter guard, which is a number 2 guard closed, and how that equates over to a detachable blade. That being said, let me run down the different blades that you actually see here on the table. And again, they go in order from bottom to top. In this particular case here, this is the 3/4 blade. And again, as you can see here, it essentially says that this is a 000 3/4 guard that is, again, closed, or the number 6 guard. Then you would go to the 5/8 HT blade. Now, that is what? That is going to be your number 5 guard closed. You go to the 3 3/4, as you can see here. What is that? That's your number 4 guard closed. Then you're going to go to blades like this here, which is, again, 9.5 millimeters, and traditionally that would be your 3.5 blade. But you can also use the Andis Ultra Edge number 4 blade, or again the 4FC. Now the 4FC stands for finished cut, or some would say final cut, but it's really finished cut, I believe. And the number 4 here, you would look at this blade and say, well, what in the world is that? Well, if you have someone with waves, or you have someone, again, who wants to have texture in their hair, that's where this blade is. It's basically, as you can see, skip tube. So it doesn't cut all the hairs like you would on the number 4FC. So again, this is a great option, and it falls within the 3.5 blade, or as you can scroll over here, the number 3 guard closed. Now, if you step over to here, you see that you have next in line the 8 millimeter, or again, number 4F guard. And this particular guard is a great guard step below the, as you can see, the 3.5 blade. The reason why it's, again, the 4F, and as you can see here, it says Wall Comp. It's the Wall Competition Series. These are new blades by Wall. Traditionally, they were used in by, say, groomers, animal, pet groomers and so forth. Now they're migrating their way over to the world of human haircuts. Why? Because they're made in a precise way so that you get more purchases, or actually you get more hair fed through, so your cuts are done quicker and in a smoother and, again, more polished manner. That's why they say 4F for finished. Now we step to the 5FC, which is essentially the same size as your number 2. Now you say, well, I've got a number 2 here, so why would I have a 5FC? Again, this blade is made to give even more precise, smoother cuts than your normal number 2 blade. So the 5FC is a good option if you're trying to, say, blend, because if you look, it's again the same as your number 2 guard closed. So if you're fading from one level to another, or fading into a 4, or whatever the case may be, or fading up into a number 3, and you really want a smoother blend, the 5FC will give you that type of cut as opposed to the traditional number 2 guard. Then we go to the 1 3/4 guard here, and the blade, I should say. And then we have this blade here, again, going back to the Wall Competition series, their number 7F, which is the same here, and I want to find this really quick, as the 1.5. Now, the reason why I have the 7F first as opposed to the 1.5 blade, even though they're the same size, as I mentioned earlier, the Wall Competition series is made to give more smoother and precise cuts. So if I'm trying to blend, say going from a 1 3/4 to a 1.5, or whatever the case may be, I can pop on my 7F, I should say, as in Frank, and again get a very smooth, velvety transition. Or again, you can use the traditional 1.5 blade. Then we go over here to the 1A. Great for using, obviously, when blending. And it's the same thing as it says here, as a number 1 guard closed. And let me step back for a minute. The 7F, or the 1.5, is the same as a 0 guard open. But moving right along, the 1.5, and then it says here skip tooth. This is a skip tooth blade, and similar to the blade earlier mentioned, it doesn't have all of the, how would you say, combs there. And so therefore it skips the amount of hair that it cuts. So you guys who are doing people with waves, and you want to make sure, let's say you're cutting against the grain, but you want to make sure that you protect the waves. That's where the number 18 skip tooth blade really reigns supreme over a traditional 1A, or in this particular case, even better than a number 1 guard closed. And then we turn around and step down to the next one, which is the 1 1/4. And then you go over to the number 1. Now, the number 1 blade here is next in line, but my number 1 right now is actually is out for sharpening. And I have a ceramic blade at the bottom as the cutter blade. And so you really have to send that to someone who knows what they're doing, so that they really get a precise smoothness and sharpness to that ceramic blade that's underneath. But right now, in the meantime, I'm using a number 9 blade by Andis. And as you can see here, they're very close in size. I made a little note here because it gives a nice soft blend. The number 9 is 2 millimeter. The number 1 traditionally is 2.4 millimeter. Either way, that falls right in line with, as you can see here, a 000 no guard open. So for those who are thinking about adjustables, that's what you're going to use from a detachable blade. Now we got next in line, again, is the number 10W. And that's very similar to a 000 1/16 guard. That is your 0 guard closed. Let's step over to the OA. And as you can see here, it says the OA is a 000 no guard halfway open. Now you go to your 000, which again is on an adjustable clipper, is your 000 no guard closed. And then you have your your 40 or 4/0 blade. And that again is a great blend if you have already used your trimmer to bald out the area. So you're in a fade, burst fade, whatever type of fade you're doing. The number 4 actually can help get out that line. The next one in line would be the 5/0 or 50, as you can see here. Now my 5/0, like my number 1 blade, is actually out for being sharpened. Obviously, you use them a lot in fading, and so therefore I want to make sure they're always at their optimal performance. These 2 blades are specialty blades. As you can see here, I can actually use my outliner blade instead of a trimmer if I wanted to make my initial guideline. Or instead of a number 5/0, I can use again the outliner blade. This blade here is something that you really should get if you're using detachables, but you must be careful in its use. Because as you can see here, there's a little signal here. If you can see it or not, I'm trying to get a close-up here. Bottom line, it says scalp, and it's got a line through it, circle with a line through it, basically saying, do not use this blade on scalp, no matter what you're thinking about. Be very careful when you put this blade on your detachable clipper, because it's very, very thin, and it will cut them. This blade is primarily used for, say, afros, for shaping high tops, and or shaping beards as well. It is a great tool to use. It's even better than any blade you have out here when it comes to those types of needs. But again, I warn you, the OAFD, FD stands for file down. This blade should never be used on someone's skin or scalp. Just for shaping the high tops, flat tops, and beards. That's essentially it as far as the detachable blade lineup that I have here. This gives you a full gamut. Even if you're using a detachable, I should say an adjustable, and you find areas that you're really finding it hard to get out that line, rather than keep going and forcing and using the edge and this and that, and mom, you're just killing yourself. Find the associated blade that falls within that guideline or that dimension or that space, if you will, and pop that on, and you'll see how smooth the transition will come out. And if you want, you can go back to using your adjustable, or you could continue using detachable blades. This has been Lawrence Little, the Expat Stylist. Hope that you enjoyed this informational video on detachable blades and detachable clippers.